So we are seeing a true revolution in video generation these days with advancements that provide outstanding quality, as you can see behind me. But I think the really exciting part is it truly democratizes cinematic storytelling and empowers lots of people to actually make very good movies. And we're seeing some first examples with fully AI-generated feature films that are being released on a high quality with a low budget, right? All of that began with OpenAI when they announced Sora, but it took them quite a bit too long, I would say, to actually release it and get it into the hands of the public. But the market works. Competitors filled the gap. Runway is an example. And the latest model, Gen 4, as you can see up there, provides us very good narrative consistency. Look at our Rose, how she keeps consistent throughout the clips, right? And also very good stylistic control, where we can give an image or text prompt and then define the video output very precisely. Also, China is pushing the boundaries. Like every other week, we get new models from Tencent, Alibaba, ByteDance, all very good video generation models that are raising the bar every other week. And finally, also recently, a new kind of category emerged with Meta Movie Gen, and in particular, Google Veo 3, that now also integrate audio components. Meaning, not only do you generate video frames, but the audio inside of it as well for your video, like the talking track of the person, the music, the sound effects, all of that in one shot with very good artistic control. So you can, with the prompt, very fine-grained, define your results.
So thanks to this, we launched 1 year ago the Reply AI Studios. It is a professional production studio that combines high-quality footage from reality together with all the generative tools. So now let's see an example, and taking in consideration that this video has been done end of 2024.
It seems like a hologram. Looking closely, you may notice several details. A few marks on the skin. Some features that change. Still, it is all in balance with the emotions that light up my face. I can sense them. I feel them through the deep silence inside me, but also in the form of notes that echo loudly. It's extraordinary, like discovering that you can innovate the future without stripping its soul. Amazing. As if technology brings something human with it.
This was a campaign of Reply. Everything in the video, sound, voices, frames, have been produced with AI. But producing with AI doesn't mean that you don't have professional skills behind it. If you try to use one of the generators by yourself, you will not get this quality. Why? Because prompt generation is tied with human direction. And synthetic images, yes, but emotional, human storytelling. Automation, yes, but with sensitive human intelligence. So our AI studio is a studio that is born to tell stories that are impossible, not doing the same stuff with those algorithms, like we do it with standard, let me say, ways. So it fits in the content economy with this cycle. So it's not only about producing with AI, it's not about real life footage, it's also about combining 3D, for example, or combining a lot sound expertise and sound design. But also those two fields, 3D and sound design, are progressing a lot with generative algorithms.
Definitely, definitely. We have, similar to generative video, immense progress when it comes to 3D generation. And again, Chinese labs are leading quite a bit here. We have Hunyuan 3D from Tencent, Trellis, but also Western companies like Stability AI with Spar 3D are providing very good models where you give it a text prompt or an image as a reference, and you get a 3D model out of this, meaning geometry and the texture, the coloring on top of that, right? Obviously, this is not at a quality like a human 3D artist would make it, right? That's quite far from that. But for me as a 3D developer, it's awesome because it empowers me to create 3D models for my 3D application, right? So we have, again, a democratization of this technology that empowers many, many more people. And I can also have lots of creative possibilities, like a sports car made out of cucumbers. Why not? You know, I can do this because just the creativity is your limitation. And all joke aside, what we're doing with the COP is actually benchmarking various generative 3D models, looking into those, doing a survey, and the next stage, what we're going to do is we're taking some of our 3D assets with Game Studio and going to fine-tune a generative 3D model so that it then will produce similar styled 3D models, right?
Thank you, Rene. So you see here some of the projects. Obviously, some are tied to the Opel case that we have seen before. So it's not still using text to 3D, but a lot of generative techniques in order to blend it with standard 3D modeling and animation. Even if we are using also for example, for asset variation. You see it in the gaming part. So we use generative techniques for the texture and for the asset variation. But also for lighting and for animation, you can still blend a lot the 3D and, again, animation and modeling together with generative AI. But also, sound is progressing a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Immense leaps when it comes to text-to-sound generation, audio generation, in particular when we think about voices. The voice cloning with timbre transformation provides us, again, very good quality that is pretty much indistinguishable from a human right now. We also have text-to-sound effects. I can give a prompt and I get a perfect matching sound I can use for my video. All of that is also slowly coming into the real-time field, so we get contextual audio. And of course, what I'm really excited about is the music aspect, right? We have tools like Suno, where we as hobbyists can create a full song just with a simple prompt. But the professional tooling is really outstanding. What Google, for example, is doing with Google Music AI Sandbox is they're providing the tools for the artists in the tooling they're used to, like digital audio workstation tools, right? So they're providing an integration of this AI into existing toolings artists are using, professionals. And this is, of course, the way to go. You give really the brush to the artist, the new brush to the artist, right, into their known tool chain. Here's also a couple of examples that we created with 11 Labs, where you can define multiple voice personas. We have an American male and female, and also a slightly German accented lady. It's very hot. She has a very, very slight accent, but listen to this.
Incredible to think about how far we've come since then.
Turing really sparked the debate about AI, and it's incredible to think about how far we've come since then.
Turing really sparked the debate about AI, and it's incredible to think about how far we've come since then.
Say that the accent is very slight. It's not like my Italian accent.